What happens to a memory when it's lost? Not forgotten, but physically misplaced. Packed away in a suitcase, zipped up, and sent into the void. We've all felt that cold spike of adrenaline, that icy dread that washes over you as the baggage carousel spins for the last time. One by one, the bags are claimed. The crowd thins, and you're left standing there, alone, under the sterile fluorescent lights of a terminal you can't wait to leave. Your bag, your life for the next week, your sentimental keepsakes, your carefully chosen outfits, is gone. You imagine it on a beach in Bali, or buried under a mountain of identical black roller bags in a forgotten corner of Heathrow. But the truth is infinitely stranger. The truth is a multi-million-dollar industry built on your loss. And somewhere, in a sprawling 50,000-square-foot facility, a stranger is about to hold your life in their hands. Look at the price tag someone else has put on it, and decide if it's worth buying. How is this even legal? The journey from your hands to a stranger's shopping cart is a descent into a bureaucratic rabbit hole, a ghost world that operates just beneath the surface of our own. It begins not with malice, but with a simple mistake. A tag is torn. A bag is misrouted. An error code flashes on a screen unseen by any passenger. For the first few days, there is hope. The airline launches a search. They use a global tracking system, a digital web connecting hundreds of airports, trying to match the description you frantically gave them with a lonely bag sitting in a back room in Dubai or Denver. This is the grace period. A time of frantic calls and optimistic emails. They tell you 99.5% of misplaced bags are reunited with their owners within 5 days. And for most, that's true. But what about the other 0.5%? What about the tens of thousands of bags that slip through the cracks of this global system? They become orphans. For 90 days, your bag sits in a state of limbo. A kind of luggage purgatory. It's moved from the terminal's immediate back office to a centralized warehouse, a vast, echoing space filled with the silent ghosts of countless journeys. Here, it joins thousands of others. Suitcases of every shape and color, duffel bags from college sports teams, backpacks covered in patches from countries their owners will never forget visiting. They are no longer property, they are problems to be solved. Airline employees, detectives of the discarded, will open the bags during this period. Not out of voyeurism, but as a last-ditch effort. They're looking for a name, an address, a business card, anything that can link the bag back to its frantic owner. They will sift past your private things, your medication, your journal, the stuffed animal your child can't sleep without, all in a professional, detached search for a clue. But often there's nothing. We pack our lives, but we rarely pack our identities in a way that's useful to a stranger. And so the clock continues to tick. At the end of 90 days, the airline legally declares your property abandoned. The hope is extinguished. They will cut you a check, a paltry sum dictated by liability limits that could never truly compensate for what was lost. And in that moment, your bag, and everything inside it, no longer belongs to you. It belongs to the airline, and the airline has a very specific and very profitable place to send it. Enter Scottsboro, Alabama. A small, unassuming town that holds a gigantic secret. This is the final destination. This is the Mecca of misplaced hopes, the graveyard of forgotten souvenirs. It's the home of the Unclaimed baggage center. Imagine trucks, unmarked and anonymous, pulling up to a loading dock day after day. They aren't carrying merchandise from a factory. They are carrying the sealed-up stories of strangers. Inside, a process of almost industrial efficiency unfolds. The orphaned bags are opened, not for identification, but for inventory. Workers, like archaeologists of the immediate past, sort through the contents. It's a surreal assembly line. One bin for electronics, laptops, cameras, headphones, e-readers, all wiped of personal data, tested and priced. Another bin for jewelry. Wedding rings that were tucked away for safekeeping, anniversary necklaces, watches that once marked time for a life now forever disconnected from them. A massive section for clothes which are all sent to be professionally cleaned at one of the largest laundromats in the state before being hung on racks like any other department store. And then there's the truly personal stuff, the things that make you pause. A child's first drawing, carefully folded, a diary filled with handwritten secrets, a framed photo of a family smiling on a vacation they would later remember for the stress of their lost luggage. These items have no resale value. They are the soul of the suitcase, and they, for the most part, are thrown away. The vessel is emptied of its spirit, and the shell is prepared for sale. This isn't some shady backroom operation. The Unclaimed Baggage Center is a tourist destination, drawing over 1 million visitors a year. It looks like a pristine, high-end department store. Clean, well-lit aisles, neatly organized racks. You can buy a designer handbag for a fraction of its retail price. You can find a brand new Kindle, still in its box. You can buy a tuxedo, a surfboard, a set of golf clubs. Every single item in the store began its journey as a personal possession, packed with care and intention by someone who never imagined it would end up here. The founder, a man named Doyle Owens, started this in 1970. He got a loan, drove his pickup truck to Washington, D.C., and bought his first load of unclaimed bags from a bus line. It was a stroke of bizarre, American entrepreneurial genius. He saw an opportunity not just in the items themselves, but in the mystery, the thrill of the hunt. People aren't just buying a used shirt, they're buying a shirt with a story they can only imagine. They're participating in a treasure hunt where the treasure is the mundane, discarded remnants of 1,000 anonymous lives. The store has found things you wouldn't believe. A live rattlesnake, a 40-carat emerald, a puppet of Hoggle from the movie Labyrinth, ancient Egyptian artifacts, a guidance system for a fighter jet. Each find is a testament to the strange and wonderful things we carry with us, and the carelessness with which the systems we rely on can treat them. So we return to the central burning question. How is any of this legal? The answer is buried deep within the fine print you agree to when you buy an airline ticket. It's called the contract of carriage. It's thousands of words of dense, impenetrable legalese that no one ever reads. But by clicking "I agree," you are entering into a binding contract. And within that contract, you are granting the airline the right to dispose of your property as they see fit, if it remains unclaimed after a certain period, usually 90 days. You have legally, if unknowingly, agreed that your lost possessions can be sold. The airline isn't stealing your bag. You, according to the contract, have abandoned it. They fulfill their legal obligation by compensating you for the declared value, and then they recoup some of their losses by selling the physical items to a third party, like the Unclaimed Baggage Center. It's a cold, calculated, and perfectly legal business model. It transforms your personal tragedy into a sterile inventory item on a spreadsheet. But this world of secret auctions and repurposed property extends far beyond the airport carousel. It's a sprawling ecosystem that touches nearly every aspect of our lives where things can be lost, forgotten, or seized. Take, for instance, the Transportation Security Administration, the TSA. Every day, thousands of items are confiscated at security checkpoints. Pocket knives forgotten in a backpack, oversized bottles of expensive perfume, tools, corkscrews. Most of us just sigh, surrender the item, and assume it's tossed in a giant bin and incinerated. But that's not the whole story. While liquids and hazardous materials are destroyed, a vast quantity of these surrendered items ends up in state-run surplus centers. From there, they are bundled into large lots, a box of 200 pocket knives, a crate of 500 corkscrews, and sold at government auctions to the highest bidder. Someone out there is making a profit from the Swiss Army knife your grandfather gave you, the one you forgot was in the bottom of your carry-on. And the rabbit hole goes deeper. It leads us to the world of police seizures. When assets are seized during a criminal investigation, cars, boats, jewelry, electronics, houses, and the case is closed, where do those things go? They don't just vanish. They are auctioned off. Websites like govdeals.com are a bizarre, public-facing window into this world. You can bid on a used police cruiser, a confiscated Rolex, or a piece of land seized for back taxes. It's a system designed to fund law enforcement by liquidating the spoils of crime. But it exists in a morally gray area, where the line between justice and profit can sometimes feel uncomfortably thin. This is the shadow economy of the forgotten. It's not just about luggage, it's about the very concept of ownership. When does something stop being yours? When you lose it, when you forget it, when the state takes it. These auctions, from the unclaimed baggage center to police impound lots, operate on the principle that ownership is conditional. It is a constant negotiation between your possession and the systems that govern our society. You might find a bargain hunter, someone like Brenda, a retiree who frequents these auctions as a hobby. For her, it's not about profiting from loss, it's the thrill of discovery. She once found a first-edition book tucked inside a dusty suitcase, a discovery that sent her on a months-long journey to learn about its author. She sees herself not as a vulture, but as a rescuer, giving these forgotten items a second life, a new home. She'll tell you that it's better than them ending up in a landfill. And on some level, she's right. It is a form of recycling, of redistribution. But from another perspective, it can feel profoundly violating. Think back to that moment at the carousel. The anxiety wasn't just about the inconvenience, it was about the loss of privacy. The idea of a stranger rifling through your underwear drawer is unsettling. The idea of them doing it and then selling the contents to the public feels like a deeper betrayal. We entrust these companies with our most personal effects, and the system is designed to monetize that trust the moment it is broken. There is no attempt to find the owner of a wedding ring once it arrives in Scottsboro. There is no final check. Once it crosses that threshold, it is no longer a symbol of eternal love. It is a commodity, its value measured in carats and gold weight, destined for a display case with a price tag. The people who work in these places, from the baggage handlers to the auctioneers, are not villains. They are cogs in a machine that is far larger than any single individual. They are performing a function that the modern world, with its mass transit and complex logistics, has deemed necessary. What do you do with the millions of items left on buses, trains, and planes every year? What is the solution? The current system is one of brutal efficiency. It's a solution that prioritizes logistics over sentimentality, commerce over memory. It answers the difficult question of what to do with it all, with the simplest answer possible: sell it. So the next time you pack a bag, think about this hidden world. Think about the journey your possessions might take without you. Each item you fold and place inside is a small piece of your story. A t-shirt from a concert that changed your life. A book with your notes scribbled in the margins. A cheap souvenir that holds in priceless memory. We see them as extensions of ourselves. But to the vast, impersonal system of transit and commerce, they are merely cargo. And when that cargo goes astray, it enters a new life cycle. One that ends not in your closet, but on a stranger's shelf. A ghost of your life, sold for a handful of dollars in a town in Alabama. The carousel keeps spinning. Thousands of flights take off and land every hour of every day. And with them, millions of bags, millions of whispered hopes for a safe journey. Most will make it. Most stories will continue uninterrupted. But for a few, the journey will end prematurely. Their stories cut short, only to be reopened, repriced, and resold in the biggest lost and found on Earth. It is a perfectly legal, astonishingly efficient, and deeply unsettling testament to our modern world. A world where everything, even our most personal memories, can eventually find its way to an auction block. And perhaps the most unsettling question isn't how it's legal, but what it says about us that we've created a world where it needs to be. What do you think? Is this a brilliant solution to a logistical nightmare, or a heartbreaking industry built on our misfortune? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and if you found yourself captivated by this hidden world, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the stories that hide just beneath the surface.